Great armor, god of blood, demands sacrifice. Many have come in search of glory, but only a chosen few may enter the arena. For those that remain, there is only victory or death. Let the battle begin!
Today is the day, folks. It's time to bear witness to the greatest fight of the 6th annual Gladiator tournament. And there's a surprise as well. We managed to locate Urist in the fortress below, so he's returned to finish this journey with us.
It's good to be back, Tod. These times are certainly exciting, and that fiend of an anaconda man really pushed the limits of us dwarves. It's time to finish this, and hopefully witness the ultimate downfall of this indignant reptile.
I certainly agree, Urist. Today we'll find out if the legless deviant will be forgotten as a painting of blood on the arena, or remembered by a painting of his likeness adorning the Hall of Fame. By the way, Urist, what's with all the cats down there? By Armagh, that was a lot of cats.
Well, our Gelder was imprisoned, and it's a fortress thing.
Right. Well, I'm especially glad you came back in time for this particular installment of Blood on the Sand. Our listeners will be happy to learn that we're bringing them coverage of today's event live from the arena. That's right, folks. We have a booth prepared and everything. I even ordered some of that fabled sunshine you dwarves keep going on about.
An excellent choice, Tod. Indeed, today's fight will be live and quite exciting. Since I was away, you'll have to remind us who has made it to this round.
Absolutely. As I mentioned, this match will feature our slithering fiend, who, in the last match, defeated the macho crab, Sandy Ravage, with relative ease.
By Armagh! If this serpent prevails, it would truly be a stain on the history of the tournament.
I feel the same way, Urist, but luckily we've seen a glimpse of hope. Borm of the South has managed to defeat Duke Grubagash despite a lengthy battle and a disadvantage in equipment. As much as I hate to see that slimy nobleman fall when he's dealt as many surprises as he has punches, the takeaway here is that Borm is capable against an armored and legless opponent.
It makes sense, Tod. Fighters like the Duke and the shameful Snake rely on their ability to mitigate attacks while dealing powerful blows to disable their opponent. However, Borm can't be taken down so easily, so he has much more time to manage that decisive hit and gain the advantage.
Let's hope things pan out that way, for the sake of decency and not having a half-dressed snake man posing forever in the Hall of Fame. I say we claim that booth, Urist, and get settled in as the fight is coming up in no time.
Sounds good to me, Tod. I can't wait for that sunshine you ordered.
Whoa, are we late? That hissing hedonist is already in the ring. Is he warming up?
It appears he's showing off for the crowd. A true irony, as the crowd sincerely hates that snake. Dwarven half, anyway. I suppose this reality is lost on such narcissism.
Security should be removing him, but I suppose I wouldn't want to get within touching distance of him either. There's the signal. Borm should be entering the arena now.
Indeed, here he comes. It appears as though he's donned quite a distinct outfit for this fight. I wonder if he's expecting to strike a victory pose in these new garments, or if he intends to be buried in them.
An astute observation. Those are some dapper threads, as the kids in my hamlet would say. I'm just noticing now that the snake has improved his equipment as well, but in a more practical way by covering his abdomen with some new steel armor. I think I'll start calling this raunchy reptile Slither, a shortened form of his true name, for the sake of keeping pace with the match.
I'd think of an insulting name for him, but we've got better things to do. Slither it is. Now, let's see how this ends, once and for all.
Look at those two charge! They must have both been eager to end this. And that's a hit to Slither's left hand.
Don't get too excited, I don't see any blood. Now Slither takes a swing at Borm's leg. It appears the momentum was weakened from that strike to his hand.
He certainly didn't have enough force to do any damage. And here comes Borm now on all fours. It's an impressive charge, and wham! Nice work, Borm. He's managed to knock Slither to the ground.
Slither is already back on his tail. Knocking an opponent prone is a move best used on those who stand on legs to begin with, but Borm doesn't seem finished with this dominance.
No, he doesn't. He's struck Slither's left hand again, and now he's kicking him in the head. That height advantage really expands Borm's options. Slither is moving in for retaliation, and he's really going all in with multiple swings.
Borm seems unbled. Slither has lost his dominating position, and now has to fight tooth and nail. I'm glad to see it. Get him, Borm!
This certainly is a tense fight. Borm's moving in for another series of punches and kicks, targeting that left arm yet again. That adamantine armor is no joke, and Slither's arm seems unaffected. But wait, here comes Borm with another charge.
Slither is down again. Praise Armok! And Borm is really taking advantage here. He's pounding repeatedly on Slither's breastplate. This persistent pounding may eventually crush the snake inside of his own armor.
But wait, Slither's up. He barely managed to parry those last two blows, but that was an impressive rebound. Again, we see his serpentine anatomy defeating Borm's chances to keep him underfoot. Here comes the retaliation.
A strike to Borm's right hand, and a gruesome one at that. Alas, we see blood on the arena floor.
What's with these guys and their persistence in targeting each other's hands? They're getting invested now. Both warriors are in quite the tussle, but neither can seem to land a blow on the other. I never expected Borm to be so nimble.
He certainly is nimble. That strike to Slither's right arm landed squarely and has him disoriented. And another strike to the chest. Oh, I heard something crack under that armor, Tod.
I don't know what kind of bones are under there, Urist, but you could be sure that wasn't good for the snake. Here's Borm with another powerful blow, landing on that same arm again. There's that crack we heard before, too, and this time Slither has released his short sword. Dropping a weapon is typically the end of a fight. This can't go on much longer.
Aye, but Slither has another weapon and another arm. He also seems quite upset with the direction this battle is going.
He sure does. The fighters must be tiring. They're taking a moment to stare each other down. Looks like Slither will break the pause. And ouch! He stabbed Borm directly in his right leg. It almost certainly struck bone.
I'm sure it has. Borm has fallen, and Slither is not missing a moment of opportunity. He slashed both of Borm's hands clean off! Let's hope Borm's got some bite in him. That's his only remaining weapon.
This may be the end. Slither still has a sword, and he's using it to perforate the poor polar bear man. Borm seems to be succumbing. Is this it?
It appears so. Borm has gone limp. Slither will undoubtedly... Oh!
Behead Borm? Indeed. And that's the end of this fight. Last I checked, there's no coming back from that. To the despair and frustration of the crowd, the victor is...
Must we say this vile serpent's name?
I'm afraid it will be hung in the Hall of Fame regardless, so it may as well be said aloud. The victor of the 6th annual Gladiator tournament is Slitherfuck the Magnificent.
Tholtig's supporters will not allow this fiend to remain in the realm of the living, especially after soiling such an honorable event.
No need to get ahead of ourselves, Urist. There's still a title match for Slither to survive. Can he defeat the current champion, Urist?
This upcoming title fight may prove to be even more suspenseful, as Urist is a python man himself. A much more savory one, though I'm afraid my impression of all snake men is spoiled after this tournament.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Urist is also substantially larger than Slitherfuck. Could he be the same deadly force, but bigger?
It's hard to be sure, Tod. But one thing I am sure of is that this booze is some of the finest ever to touch dwarven lips. An excellent choice, my friend.
I couldn't agree more, Urist. Between the subtle aroma of High Plains wild berries, the delicate touch of the ginkgo wood barrel on the palate, and the subtle hints of alcoholism, this may be the finest dwarven brew I'll ever have.
Glad you like it, Tod, but there's no time to be writing pairing recommendations.
That's too bad. It is my favorite hobby.
The next match is about to begin. Urist is entering the arena now.
That's one towering opponent. He must be half a meter taller than Slither. Or, I guess, longer?
He certainly has an impressive form. Let's hope he could put an end to this foul Ophidion's existence.
They've done some impressive work dressing his wounds from the last fight. I always wondered how they managed to heal up the fighters between rounds. No time to dwell on that, though. The fight is beginning.
Slither seems to be taunting Urist, but I can't make out what he's saying from here.
Probably some double entendre about shackles. Urist seems to be saying something to us as well. Something about never saying Slither's name. Could it be that he actually has some respect for his opponent? In any case, he's turned and raised his gauntlets in front of him. He seems serious about this fight, but he hasn't been fighting through a tournament this last month. We'll see if his level head will help or hurt him in a fight against an opponent with an inflamed lust for blood.
That's the signal. Now is exactly when we'll answer that question. They're closing their distance, but this time neither is moving in a straight line. They're winding and strafing in all sorts of serpentine ways.
This feels like a different kind of fight already, Urist. It's as though, now that they're Snake Man against Snake Man, they've returned to their more instinctual tactics.
My thoughts exactly, Tod. They're engaging now, but both are invested in dodging and feinting the other, and neither seems to be landing a blow. Wait! Slither has made the first strike with his sword, though it glanced off of Muller's armored tail.
Things are really heating up, and it's hard to say what could possibly happen next. Mullerus just slammed into Slither and knocked him down, but Slither just sprang back up with ease and is retaliating.
To strike Mullerus' gut that his armor holds. Mullerus must know how futile it is to knock down a serpent. Perhaps it's simply to break his opponent's confidence.
Not a bad tactic, as we've always seen Slither falter when his narcissism is checked. They're back in another winding standoff. It's hard to tell which tail is connected to which head, with them coiling and writhing in such close quarters.
It's a kind of fight that I've never witnessed before. This is truly like watching two wild animals wrestle over a meal. Mullerus has taken a shot and struck Slither's left hand.
Wait, Slither seems to have predicted that strike. He's retaliated with a stab to Mullerus' upper arm. That's first blood for this fight.
Mullerus seems more than a little upset. I can hear the ominous hissing from up here. He's rushed Slither and knocked him down again. It seems he's invested in keeping Slither's overconfidence in check.
And he's doing a great job. He's furiously punching and pounding on the downed Anaconda Man, who seems legitimately trapped this time.
The strikes don't seem to be doing much through that adamantine, but they do serve to demonstrate the weight advantage that Mullerus has, as well as earn him some time to plan an excellent attack.
Ouch! That was a good plan. Mullerus landed a strong punch to Slither's head, concussing him despite his helmet. He took maximum advantage of his dominant position. The crowd is cheering and chanting.
They're begging Mullerus to shake the smaller Anaconda Man to death, a tactic that he used to win against Paul the Pulverizer and win his title. He's happy to oblige, and is clamped down on Slither.
He's got him by the left arm, and dear Armok, he's using Slither like some kind of ribbon in a depraved elvish dance. I only hear stories of his fights in the last tournament. Seeing Slither brutalized by this legendary move is really something in person.
It's truly as appalling as it is effective. He's dropped Slither now, whose arm appears to be entirely useless.
But he's not done yet. He's clamped onto the hand of Slither's now useless arm for another round of that brutal display. He's dropped him early, though. It appears that Slither's learned quick and managed to writhe out of the hold.
Avoiding that attack is crucial for his survival. Slither is also a snake man, so it's no surprise he's proficient against such a move. He must have simply not expected it the first time.
Well, Mullerus is no one-trick viper. Slither struck at him, but he was entirely unfazed, and now he's grappling him again, probably trying to find a weakness through that exceptional armor. It's nearly impossible to describe what one serpent man grappling another looks like.
It's unsettling but impressive. Wait, what's this? Slither lets out a hiss, and Mullerus has bitten down onto his jaw. It appears he found a hole in the Anaconda Man's adamantine defense.
That's some creative problem-solving there. He's torquing and pulling with his head. Then he's torn away Slither's fangs. These snake men know exactly how to hurt each other.
Slither is faltering now, undoubtedly stunned by the very idea of being on the losing end of a fight for once. In fact, he's passed out entirely. Mullerus has taken the opportunity to pull off his armor.
Mullerus has simultaneously been very offensive and observant in this fight. It's no wonder he's doing so well. However, to stay in the dominant position, he's expended a lot of energy, and it's easy to see him panting as he takes this moment to do something besides punish his opponent.
With Slither's armor off, Mullerus is beating him in the head. His skull seems as thick as his confidence, and Mullerus seems tired. Wait, Mullerus has ceased his pummeling!
Not just that, he's passed out along with Slither. This fight has been full of surprises, and Slither is still alive. He's getting up.
This is not good. Though just a moment ago, he was at the mercy of Mullerus. Now the exact opposite is true. He's wasting no time and has immediately begun swinging at Mullerus' helmed head.
Perhaps he should have taken at least a short moment. He still seems confused and isn't merely trying to remove the helmet. He's not doing much damage through it either. Could that strike to his skull have caused a concussion?
Now Mullerus is regaining consciousness as well, as he's brushed off the dazed, confused attacks by Slither, lifting him into the air with one hand and beating him with the other. This does not look good for Slither.
Mullerus is remembering the success of that shake he did earlier. He's bitten back down on Slither's jaw. But wait, he's staggering. He may not have the strength left to repeat the attack.
He must not, Tod. He's both unconscious again. Will either be able to finish this bare-knuckle brawl?
If so, it's going to be finished now. Mullerus is moving again, but Slither remains still. He's picking up where he left off and has bitten Slither's jaw one more time.
If he can gather the strength and hoard this attack again, with Slither unresisting, it's all over. He's completely upright now, with Slither firmly in his grasp.
And here we go again. He's once more swinging and twisting and waving the limp Anaconda Man through the air. Slither's jaw seems to be dislocated to an extent even greater than nature permits, and that says a lot. I once saw a snake man eat a macaque whole.
He's released Slither and sent him flying. That was a hard impact to the ground, nearly 3 meters away. He's moving in again to continue punishing this disrespectful serpent.
And that's the signal. Apparently Slither is no longer breathing. Perhaps he's bled out under his armor, or maybe that concussion finally shut him down. Whatever the case, this absolutely brutal and unpredictable fight is over, and Slither is fucked.
Tod, the producers.
Dead! Slither is dead, and Urist remains the champion.
Though it will always be a disgrace to have his image in the Hall of Fame, at least we can rest knowing that his indecency has been corrected for good. Praise Armagh for that.
You know, Urist, I was thinking about some of the things that Slither had to say in our interviews. I wonder if he was really all that bad, or just a misunderstood member of a much different upbringing. His goals did seem quite liberal.
Do you plan to make it out of this fortress alive, Tod? Don't forget how the fight with Thultig ended.
Of course. Regardless of his ultimate motivations, we can all agree that Slitherfuck the Magnificent was as cruel as he was proficient in the arena. And that's the end of this season of Blood on the Sand. Urist, it has been an honor to bring such a spectacular and renowned event to the people by your side.
The honor is all mine, Tod. This tournament delivered in every way. To see a villain rise to the top and then fight a foil of himself is something only those in the stands will have the privilege to see for themselves. For those at you at home, I hope that we've put on a good show.
Thank you for watching. Until next year, this has been Blood on the Sand. Hey everyone, Tod Humanson here, and I just want to say that this project has been hectic and experimental, and as a result it has been inconsistent in the way that credit has been given, and some cases not given even where it is due. So I'd just like to take a moment to give my special thanks to these contributors to this project. First and foremost, the primary writer of the show, as well as the voice of our beloved Urist McCommentator, is Cheapskate-DM, otherwise known as Toadbard. And next is Dietere, who stood in for Urist as Nalare Longstride, and Wickvel, our primary artist for this production. Some of our artwork was sourced from previous tournaments as well, created by the talented devilingo. The rest of the artwork was sourced from the community, at the Dwarf Fortress Gladiator tournament subreddit and Discord server. And a very special thanks to the organizers of the 6th Dwarf Fortress Gladiator Tournament, and of course to Bay 12 Games, the almighty creators of the Dwarf Fortress universe, and the closest people you'll find to Armagh himself. See you next time.